Hi everyone, I'm Rabbi Mónica Gomery. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm an alum of the Rabbinical School at Hebrew College. I serve on the faculty of Svara, a traditionally radical yeshiva, and I am the music and prayer director at Kol Tzedek Synagogue in Philadelphia. This year I am deeply grieving the loss of communal song as a core and transformative spiritual practice. We cannot gather in large groups, and we can't sing in public. We can't hear the sound of one another's prayers in person. The music of the high holidays is some of the most evocative and memorable music of Jewish tradition, and the tunes that we sing during the Yamim Noraim together are meant to stir us into a state of awe, of depth, and of majesty. There's nothing like it. And I'm so sad this year not to be able to hear the sound of hundreds of voices singing in harmony with my own. As a Balat Tefillah, as a prayer leader, I'm especially thinking this year about how we can personally access that sweeping spiritual force of song, though we are physically distanced from one another. And for that this year, I'm turning to the shofar. The shofar, of course, you all know, we blow every non-Shabbat day in the month of Elul, but interestingly, our tradition never exactly spells out for us why. It might be to arouse our slumbering souls, it might be to awaken ourselves to new possibilities, and it might be a call to action and accountability. Whatever the reason, the shofar is a potent part of our preparations for the high holidays, and this year I want to suggest that the shofar can be our role model for how to express our deepest, rawest internal truths. Each one of us is a shofar. Each of us is a vessel for transformative noisemaking. We move our breath through our bodies and it comes out in this wild, ecstatic, deep, and resonant sound. And that sound calls us to attention, it enables us to reflect, and it invites us to be our best selves. Each one of us is a shofar, and so every law of the shofar can be understood as a teaching about us. In Masechet Rosh Hashanah, in Tractate Rosh Hashanah of the Talmud, we learn the following laws of the shofar. If a shofar is coated with gold in the place where your mouth is meant to touch it, it is not a kosher shofar. If a shofar is coated with gold in any other place other than the place where your mouth is meant to touch it, it is a kosher shofar. If the inside of a shofar is coated in gold, it is not a kosher shofar. And if the outside of a shofar is coated in gold in such a way that the sound is altered even slightly, it is not considered a kosher shofar. The melodies we sing are like the gold that coats the shofar. They are beautiful and intricate and glittering. Intricate and glittering. But the most important part of our prayers is not the beautiful intricacy of the melodies. Like the shofar, the inside, the inner workings of our prayers cannot be coated in gold. The core has to remain raw. Our songs, our prayers, and our tshuva have to retain that musty visceralness, that slight stink of the ram's horn, that untreated honesty. If we beautify ourselves too much, if we cover up our own raw depths with gold, we become like a shofar that is no longer a shofar. We ourselves become people who are no longer vessels of transformation. On this day of Elul, I invite you to stay raw like the shofar. I invite you to give yourself permission to let go. Strip down the glittery, shiny, gold-coated parts of yourself and instead listen for your authentic voice. Tell your truths, admit to your mistakes, and especially this year, name your longings, name every deepest longing and yearning that you have. Be vulnerable. Our rawness is our power, and it is the sound of our humanity. I pray that this month of Elul allows us to reacquaint ourselves with our internal shofar and its unique call, to reclaim our whole selves and prepare to bring those selves, broken and beautiful and honest, to stand before the open gates and to begin the year renewed. Shana Tova.